Okay, Valkyrie fans. Valkyrie fans. Sorry for you Indiana Fever fans, but I didn't think that you're going to be able to win this one unless the Valkyries played really bad. Before I get going, I got to show these. I hope I don't get copyrighted. I tried doing this before, but I got to show you two plays. Tammy Fagbenley had two, like, in the second quarter. Tammy Fagbenley had a offensive play and a defensive play that were like primo. I'm gonna set these up here. Hold on. Okay, I have this ready. This is the second thing that happened in the second quarter. So Boston and Fagbenley were going at it. I mean, just the battle between them was, if you just focused on them, there was a lot going on there. Anyway, this was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a basketball game. There were two. This was the second one. I'll show you the first one after. And listen to the announcer. Okay, here we go. We're going to roll this.
Exactly taking great care of the Rocks. 7 turnovers. Boston pulling her way to the bucket. Tammy pulled the chair on her. She was expecting to feel the body of Fagbenley. It wasn't there. Late.
Did you hear the announcer? It was like, she pulled the chair on her. She expected a body to be there, and I've never seen that before in all my years. Tammy, because Boston uses a lot of body contact to, get her position, whatever. So I think, it would have been great to be a fly on the wall in their practices when Tammy was playing in Indiana. And I'm sure her and Boston went up against each other every practice. And just to see Boston's coming down and she just got out of the way and her momentum took her right out of bounds. So that was the second of the two plays. I'm going to set up the other one. Okay, so this happened. You can see on the thing. The other one was at 5 minutes. So this happened at 7:24. This, for me, goes right along with the fake spike by Dan Marino against the Jets. This was great. I'm going to let this play. Here we go.
Tammy Curley. Driving. Powering her way to the bucket. Spin move. No. Gets it back.
Look at
The entire Fever team shifting one way.
She faked out the entire Fever team. Oh my goodness. What a play. Two Tammy Fagbenley plays. That was just great. Okay, so those two plays were I just was cracking up when I watched both those plays. During the game, I didn't actually hear the announcer say, "Oh, she pulled the chair out from under her." But when I saw her do that, I had to actually go back and watch it again and actually see what I thought I saw. And she did. It was like she was right there, and I think she must have recognized that Boston was just going to come into her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm out of the way." I've never seen that before. It's just great. Anyway, the Valkyries start out hitting threes. They hit 9 out of 10 threes in the first half. And then we weren't, for the most part, the third quarter, everything was going, we had a 20-point lead, and then we kind of hit this lull, and we stopped shooting threes, and we were turning the ball over. They got to clean that up. Just passes that were, we make this great play and then pass the ball, across the court, or just, most of the turnovers were just bad passes, trying to eke a pass in where we shouldn't have tried to do that. But, we shot really well, especially from three. It was 90, it was 9 for 10. And I'm pretty sure it was 60% for the game. Let me look here. Yes, 60. We were 12 for 19 from three. That's 63%. We shot 50% from the floor. So, those kind of numbers can overcome the 21 turnovers. And, the Fever had 15 also. And, the defense wasn't as chaotic as it was against the Mystics. But it was still very active. And Temi was playing great defense. She was just, she missed a couple things, but she was playing great defense. She is like the center of that swarming defense. And Kayla Charles was in there getting rebounds, and everybody was just very active. And, you could look at the Fever shoot. The Fever shot 33% from the floor, and they were 6 for 30 from three, which is 20%. That's not going to get it done. So the rebounds, the Valkyries out-rebounded them 34-30. Let's see, what else? Points in the paint were close. The Valkyries had 6 more points there. Turnovers were 21-15. But the points off turnovers were even, so that wasn't an advantage either way. So the Valkyries get the win, 75-63. They outscored them in the first 25-14, then 19-18. And then that third quarter, boy, I was getting all nervous. I'm like, oh my God, we're letting them back in the game. And just missed shots and turnovers and just, there were a couple that we just missed some layups. And, we only scored 11 points in the third quarter. But, the defense held up pretty well. So the Fever only scored 16. So the most points they scored in a quarter was 18. So we kept them under 20 every single quarter. So that was good. But then, they finally got it together, and we hit a couple more threes in the fourth quarter, along with some other baskets. But just some great... We're still missing the cutter. Like, I saw Rupert and Temi Fagbenley wide open in the key, and the guards aren't throwing them the ball. You don't want to do that every single time, but they were wide open. They got them a couple times, but then there's times where they were covered and they try and throw it in. It's like they're not recognizing, boom, it's open, get it in. That's still happening. And I'm hoping as, they figure that out before the playoffs start, because Rupert got one. They got one to Rupert, and all she did, she turned around and just put it right up. It was easy peasy. So I'm hoping they're going over that in the, when they're watching film, like, oh boy, that was wide open. So let's see here. The Valkyries only had 3 players in double figures, which that's surprising. I would have thought it would have been more. But we did have, everybody that played scored. Our lowest person was Ami here, and she had 4 points. Everybody else had some points. So leading scorer was Rupert with 21. Good game. She was hitting those threes. She was 5 for 8. 5 for 8. So, that is what she brings. If we can just, shore up her defensive side of the ball. But I'll tell you, after this week that they had almost a week off, since she came over from after Eurobasket, there wasn't really time for her to, really work on, team defense and shifting and all that. But that's definitely looking better on her part. Yeah, she's definitely looking stronger on that end. But boy, her 3-point shooting is just wonderful. She was 8 for 12 overall. Then you had Solange. She hit 3 threes. You had Kate Martin hit 3. Kate Martin was 3. She hit every 3-pointer she threw up there. So that was cool. And she got that 4-point play too. So Solange had 10 points. Kate Martin had 10 points. Charles had 9. She hit a 3. She also had 7 rebounds. Burton had 7 rebounds. Temi had 6 rebounds. Solange had 4. Carla Late had 2. Martin had 2. And then Amihir had 5. 2 of them were just, she had gotten the ball and they were just all over her. I mean, they weren't fouling. It wasn't a foul, but she had Boston and it was probably Howard. I can't remember who was there at the time. But she got the ball underneath and she just had no room to go up and she still tried to, missed the shot, then went over to the other side of the basket, got the rebound, put it back up and still missed. So, but that was tough to do and, that closely guarded. She had very little maneuvering room. But I liked her tenaciousness and keeping after it. It's too bad it didn't go in. So, let's see here. So, Temi had 6 points. She had a steal. She had 5 turnovers. There was one play. We were like scrambling for the rebound, and Temi ended up with it, and she kind of came around to the wing. And then instead of just passing it to Burton, she went across the court. And I was like, oh, no. And the Fever ended up getting a layup on the other end on that one. That was one of them. But, I just love the hustle and the whole bit. So she ended up getting a steal, 5 turnovers, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. And she was 3 for 5 from the floor. So then Charles, 9 points. She had 3 steals, 3 turnovers, 7 rebounds. And then Veronica Burton, boy, I can't even believe there's even a discussion on most improved player. I mean, she only scored 8 points this game, but she was going head-to-head with Kelsey Mitchell. And, she pretty much kept Kelsey Mitchell in check. Kelsey only had 14 points. She's been scoring 30, 25 to 30. She had 14 points. And Veronica Burton was all over. She was, right there with her the whole time. So Burton had 13 assists. She had 5 turnovers this game, which that's not usually the case with her. But, it was a tough game all around because Odyssey Sims and Kelsey Mitchell, 2 very good players. And, they were battling, just like Temi and Boston were. Carla and Odyssey Sims and Veronica and Kelsey Mitchell, they were battling. I mean, it was great matchups with those 3 sets of players. Just great matchups. So Veronica was 3 for 9. She had some great drives to the hoop. Just great drives to the hoop. Just when her and Carla drive to the hoop, our offense just picks up. And, and even if they can't make the hoop, they can dish it out, and it just opens stuff up, and it speeds our offense up. Because sometimes we can get a little and we hang out at the top of the key too much, and then all of a sudden the shot clock is, at 4. So, let's see. Kate Martin, 10 points. She had 2 rebounds. She was perfect from 3. She was 3 for 4 overall, and then she hit that foul shot. So Carla Late, 7 points. She had a steal, 2 turnovers, an assist, and 2 rebounds. She was 3 for 7. She missed some of those layups that she was going in for. And then what I thought was a 3, but it turned out her foot was on the line. She hit that one late in the game and then hit the foul shot. So that was cool. That was what gave us that, because the Fever had gotten it all the way down to 5 in the fourth quarter. And that and a couple of Rupert 3-point shots gave us that. I think we got it back up to 16, I think. Anyway, very, very nice. Let's see if I didn't think I missed anybody here. Yeah, that covers the Valkyries. So the Fever, they shot 33%, 20% from 3. They went to the foul line a lot more than the Valkyries. They went 18 times. And I watched the post game, and Natalie was talking about, things were getting called for them that we weren't getting calls for. Which, it is what I was seeing that a little bit too, but it wasn't egregious. I mean, there were times where it was like, oh my God, that looked like a foul, and it didn't get called. But, you know what, I'm not going to bark about the officials. They are, usually it all evens out in the wash. That's been my experience as a player and as, the years that I coached. And you have to kind of get on them a little, like, hey, but yelling at them that's only going to get them pissed at you, and you're not going to get calls. So the Fever had 3 players in double figures. You had Natasha Howard with 13, Kelsey Mitchell with 14, and Ariel Powers, who was a Valkyrie briefly. She was sitting at home, and we called her up, and when we had some injuries, but then we got healthy and had to let her go, and good on the Fever, they picked her up. She's a good player. Excuse me. She's a good player. She was 6 for 13, 4 for 6 from the foul line. She had 4 rebounds, 1 assist. She had a steal. She came in the second half, and she played well. So then you had Kelsey Mitchell. She had 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. She was 4 for 4 from the line. 2 of those were defensive 3 seconds. But she was 2 for 10 from 3, which, but she didn't have very many open shots. But she was 4 for 14 overall. Odyssey Sims was 1 for 10 overall, and then 1 for 5. She had 5 points. So, I don't necessarily think that, Mitchell, because Mitchell and Sims have been playing well. They've been playing really well. But you have to factor in that the Valkyries' defense wreaks havoc. They wreak havoc on you. You had to see, like, Seattle. Oh my God, they were making Seattle pull their hair out when they played here. So, for Fever fans, it's like you have to factor in that the Valkyries have a very good defense. They have just a harassing, team. Everybody's all in defense. So, and then, Temi playing defense. Here's again, Aaliyah Boston had 4 points. She had 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 turnovers, 3 assists. She was 2 for 7. And then Lexi Hill had 8 points. She had 6 rebounds. She was, once again, just hustling all over the place. She was 2 for 5 from 3, and those were the only shots she took. And she went to the foul line twice. So 6 rebounds and assists, 2 turnovers for her. Howard, she had 5 turnovers. 3 of, I think it was 3 times. It seemed like successive offensive plays she traveled. She just wants to go faster than her, her feet are going or something. But I've watched every Fever game, and she travels at least once a game, it seems like. I don't know. She had 13 points, 1 steal. She had 6 rebounds. She was 3 for 4 from the line, 5 for 9 from the floor. And then Turner had 2 points. She hit a hoop. Dantas didn't score. Shea Petty didn't score. And that's pretty much it for this game. And the Fever have now dropped to 8th, and the Valkyries are in 6th. We got New York next. And then we got Dallas, then Minnesota, Seattle, and then Minnesota again. So, based on New York's last game, they're coming to Valhalla. If we shoot anywhere near what we're shooting right now, we're going to give New York fits. They are taller than us, but we didn't have Rupert to body up with New York last time we played them. Not that she's great on defense, but she's a bigger body to go up against Jones and, Stewie. And I think it'll matter. I don't know. I have to look and see if Sabrina Ionescu is going to be playing or not. But they're missing her. And Natasha Cloud's playing with a mask. And Natalie said that Cece and Tiffany Hayes are day-to-day, and Monique Billings has got to be close to coming back, although she was in street clothes. So I don't know if we can get them back for these last couple of games and into the playoffs. We might be able to pull it out. But I mean, when I was factoring stuff in earlier in the season, I was expecting for us to beat Dallas. I expected us to beat Washington and Indiana, and then Dallas and the Storm, and get these and then lose to Minnesota and the Liberty. But we're also playing Minnesota the very last game of the season, and I know some people don't think that Minnesota's going to sit people, but why would they not? Especially maybe not the next, because we play them. We play them on the 11th. I think we play them on the 6th. I don't know what date it is, but it's like we play Minnesota. Then 2 days later we play Seattle. Then 2 days later we play Minnesota. So maybe not the first one we play them, but the last game of the season. I can't imagine that they're going to play their starters like the whole game. I mean, they're going to probably play them, but I would think you'd pull them out at halftime, because the game doesn't matter not to them. So the other thing I was looking at, as far as the Valkyries being able to hold on to the 6th spot, which is ideal, because I think our best chance in the playoffs is to play Atlanta. And right now, the 6th spot would put us against Atlanta. Just because Atlanta can be up and down. But then again, look at the way New York's playing. But New York is 5th right now. And I don't know, we're only 1 game behind them in the loss column. Oh, no, we're 2. We're 2. If we beat them, then we're 1 game behind them. But if you look at tomorrow's games, you have a very key game with the Sparks in Seattle. If somehow the Sparks beat the Storm, which they have played neck and neck games, if the Sparks beat the Storm, that gives us even more of a cushion. And then the very next day we play New York, and Indiana's playing Phoenix, and Phoenix looks good. I don't know if the Fever can beat the Phoenix Mercury. I mean, it'd be great for them if they can. But if we can pull off a win against New York and Indiana loses to Phoenix and then the Sparks beat the Storm, oh boy, we got a window there. That'd be cool if all that happened. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna. But then the Sparks, that's a back-to-back for the Sparks. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm thinking of something else. So Monday, the Sparks play Seattle. Then Wednesday, they have to go to Atlanta. So they play the Sparks, and then they got to fly all the way to Atlanta on Wednesday. And then what do we have? And then that Thursday, we're going to be playing Dallas. Minnesota and the Aces are playing. And then Seattle has to play New York that Friday. If the Sparks beat the Storm and then New York beats the Storm, this is what I was saying earlier. If you've watched some of my other videos, their teams are going to start beating other teams, and everybody's going to accumulate a few losses here. Indiana's got Chicago. I mean, they should beat the Sky, but they can be tough. And then we have it's the 6th. So the 6th we play Minnesota, and then the Sparks have Dallas. Indiana has Washington. That should be a win for the Fever. And then the 9th, Indiana's playing Minnesota. New York plays Washington. And then we have Minnesota, final game of the season. New York plays Chicago, and Phoenix plays Dallas. Oh, and then the Sparks have to play the Aces last game of the season. So I actually think at this point, I thought with all the changes with the Fever, I thought they were going to lose a couple games that they've already won early because I thought the Sparks would beat them. But the Sparks just can't, they don't play defense. They don't play good team defense. And it hurts them. So the Fever won that game, which I didn't think they would. So, good on the Fever. But, they have... The Storm and the Fever have tough games coming up. I mean, so do the Valkyries, but just the combination of things. And we have the tiebreaker against the Fever and the Storm. And the Sparks, for that matter. So, I don't know. We just got to hold our own, Valkyrie fans. Hold our own. But if we can get this one against New York, oh boy, that would give us such a leg up. That would give us a huge leg up if we can beat the Liberty. But we'll see. I don't expect us to, but it's possible. So, anyway, thanks for watching. This was a longer video than I usually do, but I had to get those things in about Temmie because I just love Temmie Finley. I love her hustle. I love her defense. She's not going to score a lot of points, but boy, she's just relentless on defense, which I love. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.